A KSL Sports presentation. Game Night Live kicks off now. Sponsored by UCCU.
The stakes have never been higher this season. Some teams trying to advance to the semifinals this weekend. Others trying to keep Cinderella's slipper on. This is Game Night Live, and this is another weekend of the state football playoff.
The semifinals are complete for the Class 1A through 4A. We'll show you which teams punched their tickets to the championship games. But we begin today's show in Class 6A.
Yeah, how about Bingham and Lone Peak? They've combined for 9 of the last 13 championships in the state's highest classification. The two powerhouse programs meeting in the 6A quarterfinals for the second straight season.
And the Knights are defending their 6A title while Bingham seeking their first trip to Rice-Eccles since 2018. This was a slugfest. The best play of the first half, a 55-yard field goal by Lone Peak kicker Ian Sanchez. Points were hard to come by because both defenses played lights out. You could tell a lot was on the line. Seth Dahl with the TFL. Bingham Seti Masi answers with a TFL of his own. Just one first-half touchdown. Bingham quarterback Dallin Martinez with a 12-yard touchdown run. The Miners led 7-6 at the half. Lone Peak would take a third-quarter lead when Caden Hodson connects with Crew McChesney for a touchdown. How about some more defense? Jaden Mayberry blows up this Bingham run. And after the teams trade 1-yard touchdown, Bingham takes a 22-19 lead with 6 minutes left in the game. Havea Fotu with a 13-yard catch and run. Down 6 in the final minute. Lone Peak has the ball with a chance. The drive starts with a sack. Ben Latai gets to Hodson, but Hodson was tough. Takes a shot, connects with McChesney for a big gain. Lone Peak gets in scoring position in the final seconds, but on fourth down, Bingham gets the stop they need. And the Miners are going back to Rice-Eccles Stadium again, as I said earlier, for the first time since 2018.
All right, so who will they be facing, Davis or Skyridge? Skyridge quarterback McKay Hillstead back in action for the first time since being injured on September 9th against Timpview. Had plenty of help from his friends. How about La'akea Kalama with the nasty spin move on a 33-yard touchdown? Then 3 minutes later, Hillstead connects with Tate Walker, a 25-yard touchdown to give the Falcons a 14-0 lead over Davis. And the route was on. Kalama again in the first quarter. What a shifty runner he is, and they've got a 21-0 lead. The defense was just as dominant, too, for Skyridge. How about sophomore Jacopo Malufau? The sack there. And then the #1 ranked college prospect in the state, Tausili Akana, the All-American, with a sack of his own. The Falcons sacked Jackson Stevens 4 times. They are moving into the semifinals against Bingham Thursday at 2:30. Farmington High School is just 5 years old. Its first 4 seasons of play, they've been to the quarterfinals twice. On Friday night, they could accomplish 2 firsts for the program. Its first 10-win season and its first ever trip to the semifinals. They were on the road against 4th-seeded American Fork. In the first quarter, Phoenix, a great special teams play. Jet Judkins blocks the punt to give Farmington great field position. Leads to Travis Hoops taking the ball at the 30 and finding some space to get it all the way down to the 1. Hoops would finish this drive off a couple plays later with the touchdown, and Farmington has a 6-0 lead. Then in the third quarter, Easton White to Adam Stuckey. 20-yard touchdown. It's 12-0 Phoenix. In the fourth quarter, Hoops gets his second touchdown of the day to make it a 19-0 game. The Phoenix hold on for the tough road win. They are moving into the semifinals.
6A #1 seed Corner Canyon hosting 9 seed and Region 2 champion West. Corner Canyon's defense has been stingy this season. Tank Mitchell and Alex Tullis team up for a sack. And what a game for Chargers running back Drew Patterson. What a season he's having. 3 rushing touchdowns in the first half and a touchdown reception from Isaac Wilson. Wilson also tossed a touchdown here to Quinn Hale. Corner Canyon, they're going to Rice-Eccles. They'll take on Farmington Thursday at 11 a.m. All right, we're moving on to 5A now. Lehigh is the favorite to repeat as 5A state champions, but they almost didn't make it back to Rice-Eccles Stadium. The Box Elder Bees had the champs on the mat and gave them a scare. Box Elder showed early on in this game that they were ready to take their swing at the Kings. Lehigh quarterback Jackson Brousseau taking a deep shot, and so many times this ends up in a Lehigh touchdown. Not this time. Box Elder's Cole Mortensen with the interception. Box Elder gets on the board first. Dax Sumko. 2-point conversion makes it 8-0 Beast. Lehigh scores in the second quarter. Rousseau finds Jace McGarry for a 5-yard touchdown. It was 8-7. Box Elder at the half. Lehigh scores again in the third. Carson Gonzalez with a 7-yard touchdown run. They're up 14-8. Box Elder answers with a minute left in the third. Ryan Griffin to Jackson McKee. The Bees take back that lead 15-14. And they add to their lead with 6 minutes left. Griffin to Mason Jepson. Lehigh on upset alert, down 21-14, but Lehigh is undefeated for a reason. Just as they did against Corner Canyon and Timpview, they rally late for the win. Gonzalez with a touchdown with 2 minutes left to tie it. They get the ball back. Rousseau to Kobe Moore. That sets up the game-winning score with 30 seconds left. Gonzalez again for the win. Another Lehigh comeback keeps their quest to repeat alive. They win 28-21.
Like Lehigh, Stansbury is trying to stay undefeated. They're hosting Olympus in the 5A quarterfinals. Stansbury scoring on the first possession of the game. Dylan Hamilton running it in from 18 yards away, crossing the goal line there. But 21st seeded Olympus answers right back. Chase Mosley to Luke Bryant for a 40-yard touchdown to even the score, keeping the underdog story going for Olympus. But after that, it was all Stallions. 2 second-quarter touchdowns. Hamilton scores again on a pass from Ezra Harris with 16 seconds left. It's 21-7 at the half. The defense was suffocating sophomore Toby Johnson. Sacks Mosley for a big loss. They pull away in the third thanks to 2 touchdown catches by Trent Jones, a 19-yard score and a 14-yard score. Jones also had an interception in the game. And the Stallions still unbeaten. For the second straight year, they punched their ticket to Rice Eccles, a Stansbury-Lehigh rematch in the semifinals Friday morning at 11. 2 double-digit seeds, 11-seeded Orem and 19-seeded Alta. They both picked up upset wins to reach to the quarterfinal round. Alta entered the playoffs with just 4 wins on the season, but they've won both of their playoff games on the road so far. Can they get another against an Orem team that has been to 5 straight semifinals? This was one of the best games of the weekend. First quarter, Orem already up 7-0 when Alta's Matt McKee finds Jace Turner on a 19-yard touchdown to tie the game. In the second quarter, Alta took a 10-7 lead with a field goal. Then Noah Flores goes 85 yards to extend that lead. Alta's up 17-7. Orem's Felipe Longi would have something to say about that, though. Longi runs for the 21-yard touchdown to cut the lead down to 3. On the final play of the half, clock at zeros, Lance Reynolds, who's just off the screen, lets it fly. Roger Saliapong at the top of your screen there comes down with it and spins into the end zone. Orem taking a 21-17 lead at the half. Fourth quarter, Orem looking to close the game out, but Noah Flores gets the big-time interception in the end zone. Alta taking the lead here. McKee finds Flores for a 73-yard touchdown. The Hawks go in front 24-23 midway through the fourth quarter. Orem gets into field goal range with less than 2 minutes to play. Kaue Akana connects from 32 yards for the 26-24 lead. 17 seconds left. Alta can win with a field goal, but it's blocked. And for the 6th straight year, Orem reaches the semifinals.
Wasatch, the 23 seed, making it to the quarterfinals. Their reward, the Timpview Thunderbirds. Wasatch made it interesting early. Matt Kelson finds Tavian Edwards, sophomore to sophomore, wide open, 65-yard touchdown to even the score. It woke up the T-Birds because they reeled off 56 straight points. Freshman quarterback Helaman Kasuga connects with Isaiah Vaya for a 39-yard touchdown. Curvin Tuaone would score next, a 9-yard run. Timpview with 28 first-quarter points. They would score 28 in the second quarter. Kasuga starts dropping bombs. That one to Jared Esplin for a 35-yard score. And later in the quarter, he connects with Kazan Villa for a 52-yard touchdown reception. 56 first-half points. The Thunderbirds advance to Friday's 2:30 p.m. semifinal against Orem. All right, the 4A semifinals between Mountain Crest and Desert Hills kick off tonight at 7 p.m. in Cedar City. The other semifinal between defending champ Ridgeline and #1 seed Crimson Cliffs is underway right now. Let's check in on that game. Riverhawks and Mustangs playing at Southern Utah University. First quarter, Ridgeline pulling out the tricks. The reverse to Jackson Olsen. Decides to throw it back to the quarterback, Nate Dowley. Leads to 3 points for the Riverhawks. First play of the second quarter, Steele Barbin going up top to Tyler West. A 45-yard touchdown for the Mustangs. Next Riverhawk possession, McKay Wright, the huge sack and strip on Dowley. Crimson Cliffs recovers, and then they capitalize. Barber to Boston. Adamson on 4th and 3. The 2-point try was no good. This game's still in the second quarter. It is 12-3 Crimson Cliffs.
All right, if you thought that was a lot, well, we're just getting started. Plenty more highlights still on the way.
Absolutely. We got highlights from 3A, 2A, 1A, and even 8-man football, as well as our Game Night 5 and the highlight reel coming up next. Brr.
We're the Farmington Cheerleaders, and you're watching Game Night Live.
Farmington headed to the semifinals. All right, Grantsville, the defending 3A state champs, has a playoff rivalry brewing with Morgan. 2 years ago, Morgan beat Grantsville in the semifinals. Well, last year, it was Grantsville beating Morgan in the championship game. Today, the rematch once again in the semifinals, and Morgan doesn't take long to get on the scoreboard. How about Jet Salmon taking the ball, and he's going to scoop 68 yards right past your TV dinner into the end zone. 7-0 Morgan with the lead. Final minute of the half. Watch this run by Gunnar Lish. He's going to get hit by the defender, but he is not down. Never touched the turf. Rolls into the end zone for the 13-0 Morgan lead after one quarter. The Trojans' defense was more than Grantsville could handle. Pass batted at the line by Josh Criddle, picked off by Salmon. Later in the quarter, another INT. This time, Zach Sargent roaming in the defensive backfield. He's going to get this one. Morgan getting the shutout, 27-0. They take their 12-0 record to the title game.
The undefeated Juab Wasps facing Canyon View. Juab quarterback Alex Jackson. A huge year and a huge day. Started on the very first snap. 40 yards to Peyton Park for the touchdown, 7-0 Juab. And their defense was smothering in the first half. Will Harmon with the sack. Jackson threw back-to-back touchdown passes to Wesley Nielsen in the second quarter for a 20-6 lead. Canyon View gets something going. Jackson Jensen to Trenton Ludlow. Over the top, down to the 2. Jensen would score to cut the lead to 20-13. But Alex Jackson and Juab just had too much firepower for Canyon View. The perfect pass to a diving Justin Stevens. And then another touchdown pass, this one to Riker Richards. Jackson passed for 472 yards and 5 touchdowns. Juab is going back to the title game with a 37-21 win. All right, now to 2A. Beaver had to go 80 yards in the final 20 seconds and score a touchdown to beat Summit Academy in the quarterfinals. They pulled off that miracle. Now could they upset #1 seed and undefeated South Summit for a spot in this year's 2A championship? South Summit coming into this game undefeated, 11-0. Beaver came out and punched them right in the mouth. Already up 14-0. Titan fails, finds Aiden Bradshaw wide open for a 21-yard touchdown reception. The Beaver defense shut out the Wildcats. Braden Angel and Gage Radden combined for the sack. Beaver flexing on him. Turns this into a blowout. Fails to take Gale for a 39-yard score. Beaver advances with a 35-0 win. They'll see us in St. George.
All right, so Beaver's going to get the winner of Emory and undefeated San Juan. Could Emory keep up with the high-powered offense of San Juan? 14-7 in the first. Parker Snyder finds Garrett Young. He's taking this one to the house on a 78-yard touchdown. Broncos are up 21-7 already, but Emory is not fading. Still in the first, Wade Stilson throws up a jump ball. Creek Sharp goes up and gets it, and he's in 21-14. San Juan up 28-21 in the second quarter. Snyder finds Zach Conway for the 25-yard touchdown. So now the Broncos have a 36-21 lead. And Conway finds the end zone again for a 13-yard touchdown to put the Broncos up 43-28. Seems like they're well on their way. But with 2 seconds left in the half, Emory gets back into the end zone. Stilson finds Matt Olson. And this touchdown catch makes it a 43-36 game at the break. A combined 11 touchdowns and 862 yards of total offense in the half. In the second half, Emory is striking first. Stilson going to punch it in to make it a 2-point game, 43-41. Now, Emory tries to go for the 2-point conversion, but it's picked off by Isley Singer. San Juan still up 2, and then adding on Snyder back in the end zone. Broncos taking a 49-41 lead. Does Emory have the stamina to keep pace in the shootout? Nope, it's picked off by Brody Bilbao. San Juan puts the game away. Parker Snyder with the touchdown. He had 5 total scores. San Juan holds on to win this one 56-48. All right, now to the 1A semifinals. Kanab has had a flair for the dramatic this season. 4 times this year, they rallied from a fourth quarter deficit to win in the final minute. Happened again in the first round against Duchesne. These fourth-quarter comebacks have earned them that nickname, Cardiac Cowboys. Well, let's pick this game up in the second quarter against Enterprise. Kanab had a 7-0 lead until Enterprise got in the end zone. Kyron Bracken from 5 yards out. And just before the end of the first half, Kanab takes the lead. Griffin Bone to Derek Brown. 40-yard gain is going to set up the quarterback sneak into the end zone for a 12-7 halftime lead. No score in the third quarter, so Kanab scores first in the fourth. Bone to Brown for a 25-yard touchdown. It's 19-7. Then the defense gets a key turnover, forcing a fumble that would set up another Kanab score. No cardiac finish needed in this one. The Cowboys move to the championship game with an 11-point win.
Layton Christian and Milford breaking the ice at Eccles Coliseum in the other 1A semifinal. The Layton Christian defense allowed just 56 yards to Milford. Malik Johnson jumps the route and takes it to the house for 18 yards on skates for the game's first touchdown. The Eagles' run game was unstoppable. Josiah Giatris had a huge game. He breaks this run for 56 yards and a score. He would get a touchdown again in the fourth quarter to clinch the win. 248 yards rushing and 2 scores for Giatris. The Eagles are fired up. They are going to the championship game. They'll get to Kanab for that 1A title on Friday. All right, for the first time in state history, 7 classifications will compete for state titles. This year, 8-man football made its debut.
Yeah, an opportunity for smaller schools to play a full season and participate in the postseason. And the semifinals were in the snow on Thursday, with Monticello facing Rich. In the first quarter, Monticello on the board first. Tavon Black, a 1-yard touchdown. End of the first, Riker Hoffman connecting with Levi Stonehouse. 46-yard touchdown after the 2-point conversion. Rich led 8-7. Late second quarter, Monticello's Javelin Robinson scores from 6 yards away. Rich held a 14-13 halftime lead. In the third, Rich adds to the lead. Jaden Desch with the pick. He's bringing it back for the 6. Slow and safe, but he gets in. With less than 5 minutes to go in the game, J.D. McDonald scores on the short touchdown to cut the lead to 1. Monticello decides to go for 2. End the lead, and guess what? They get it. That's the game winner. 21-20, Monticello advancing to the finals.
Loving these snow games. They'll face the winner between Gunnison Valley and Water Canyon. Water Canyon's first year competing. Gunnison Valley on the first drive. Bryson Sorensen scores a 60-yard touchdown to put the Bulldogs up 8-0. Later in the first, Gunnison Valley's Pearson Judy finds the end zone to put the Bulldogs up 15-0, and they scored early and they scored often. 61-6. They scored 45 of that in the first quarter. All right, now that the highlights are done, we have the tough task of picking the best of the best.
It's not always easy, but now is the time for us to reveal the Game Night 5.
And I'll tell you what, we don't even know which ones were picked. Number 5 for the 1A semifinals, Milford's Trey Rose. Ooh, laying out for the interception. Well done, Trey. They don't move on, but Trey made the top 5.
Hitting a frozen turf, too. Can't feel great. Rich runs the fake to perfection on number 4. This was that 2-point conversion. They get it in their big game on Thursday. I like it.
Is he wearing skates or cleats? I can't tell. Creek Sharp from Emory. What a game he had. What a season he's had. He's going to go full Randy Moss. What an effort to get the touchdown in a shootout. This is one of the best games of the year. Emory and San Juan was a lot of fun, but San Juan's moving on.
Number 2, Skyridge's La'akea Kalama. Look at this move. Spinning away from the defense and then making his way for the touchdown. What a play for Skyridge. And they have so much talent on that team. I can't wait to watch them in the semifinals.
Ooh, yes. We'll talk about that in a moment. This was from today's 3A semifinals. Morgan's Gunnar Lish. Whoop, he's not down. Looked like he got stopped, but oh no. The replay shows he was not down.
Still up.
The pile's there, and he rolls right out of it for an 11-yard touchdown. Morgan is moving on to the championship game. We're moving on, too. We'll be right back with the highlight reel. If you have a chance to attend a high school football semifinal at Rice-Eccles Stadium this week, or a championship game 4A through 1A, even 8-man, do it. There's something special about high school football.
Yeah, there certainly is. When we try to capture that essence every single week here on Game Night Live, and our latest attempt is right now. It's the Game Night Live highlight reel.
and then Skyridge will take on Bingham.
Yeah, I can't wait for those games. But also Friday, we got some great matchups. Lehigh and Stansbury is the morning game, 11 a.m. at Rice Eccles, and then 2:30, a great Utah County rivalry between Orem and Timpview. This is all must-see football this weekend.
And you're streaming live on KSLSports.com. We'll see you for those games.